Going through a breast cancer diagnosis can have a devastating impact on not only your physical health, but also your mental health. Your body can go through many changes during treatment, which can be hard to adjust to. This can include the impact of chemotherapy or other treatments, or adjusting to your body with a mastectomy, bilateral mastectomy, lumpectomy, or a reconstruction. So how kind were you to yourself during and after your treatment? We sat down with two women who were very familiar with how a breast cancer diagnosis can affect mental health and body image. The current chair of Breast Cancer Trials Consumer Advisory Panel, Leslie Gilham, and the former chair, Leonie Young. We asked what their experience was with body image during and after their breast cancer treatment.
Well, it certainly changes for most women who have a breast cancer surgery. So for me, I had a mastectomy, so that was very obvious. But it's no less important for women who have lumpectomies, though. But it's just a little more obvious when you have a mastectomy. And it's certainly an issue for women when some of the treatments put them into menopause. So then those side effects of menopause, a bit of weight gain, some of the drugs people have to take, they gain the weight, and then if you've got scars from reconstruction even, or all the surgeries have scars, then absolutely it's one of the biggest issues that women have to face going through this sort of surgery. So then it raises a whole range of issues around sexuality, and partnerships and marriages can struggle at this time just because people don't feel like they're good enough.
Did you have?
Yeah, I would agree with Leonie. There's for most women or actually probably all women and men who have had a diagnosis, there's a constant reminder every time you look at your own self-image, whether that's whether you've had a mastectomy, a lumpectomy, or none at all. You might have just had radiation therapy, but you'll still have some sort of marking, or you'll have tattoos to remind you just from the radiation, even down to chemotherapy, hair loss, that sort of thing. So there is a huge issue around body image, and I guess from the work we do with the trials group, which they're now focusing on de-escalation trials, so that means that those sort of issues could hopefully be alleviated a little bit. Some of the treatments might cause lymphedema, which creates a whole different range of body issues as well. So I guess that's one of the reasons why they're really important trials that we need to be running.
Did you feel like there was support for your mental health during your treatment?
For me, there was, because I was on a trial. So I tended to have a whole group of people supporting me, not only my family and friends, but also a whole team at the clinic. And I guess because I was on that trial, I had to attend the clinic more often, so I had that support around my well-being, probably more than those people that weren't on trial. So for me personally, I can say I had a lot of support with my mental health, yeah.
So I'm a little different to Leslie because I wasn't on a trial and I was diagnosed a long time ago, and everything certainly changed dramatically in that area, and there's a lot more support around these days. So, but for some women, depending on where they live, that support's not there, and it's really, really important for them to be able to access somehow. I know where I am, there's a lot of support around. I come from Brisbane, and there's a lot of good support around there. But there's some people who live in rural and regional areas who feel very isolated, and there are ways, thankfully with modern technology these days, that people can keep connected, but that still keeps them isolated in some way. So there still are people struggling in that area.
Do you have any advice for those undergoing treatment regarding body image and mental health? Anything that helped you during your treatment? Could be as simple as actually asking for help.
I would say those issues around peer support and connecting with others who've been there and done that will fill many of those gaps, and it again normalises it a little bit. So we see very often, even if we are struggling, if you've got a group of friends who are all got something similar going on, again, you don't have to explain yourself around it, and people get it, and you start to feel good about yourself after a while. And some of the wellness programs that are around, and just the research that's been done around exercise and those sorts of things, help people's mental health as well. So those connections are a good step to making a difference for people.
Yeah, I agree. Like, the more that you can surround yourself with people that have been through the same situation as yourself, the better, because you don't have to explain yourself. They get what you're going through. So, you know, it's actually interesting until you might raise something that is happening or something that's concerning you, and they go, oh, you know, someone else will say, oh, that happened to me, you know, blah, blah, blah. So it sort of puts you at ease, because quite often you'll find that if you speak to someone who hasn't been through a diagnosis, or someone who hasn't got the medical background to deal with your concerns, then all you're going to do is make those concerns worse, because they'll start to create the anxiety that you don't necessarily need at that time. So, it's a difficult one, but yeah.
I think there's some practical things around too for women who've had breast surgery, and that breast forms and just nice lingerie and getting fitted well. And so breast care nurses are really vital in helping steer people in the right direction, to know where to go and where to find out some of those things, because a lot of people don't know that those things are available for them, and they struggle on and feel that they have to wear something that's not very attractive at all, and there's very nice things out there. So I guess it's getting into the right information sources. It's important to get the information sources around clinical trials, and lots of clinical trials are doing quality of life studies and that sort of thing, and the nursing and supportive care, so they all work together to hopefully make a difference for women.
That was former chair of the Breast Cancer Trials Consumer Advisory Panel, Leonie Young, speaking with the current chair, Leslie Gilham. If you'd like to learn more about breast cancer trials, head to our website, breastcancertrials.org.au. If you'd like to keep up to date with the latest in breast cancer research, open clinical trials, stories and breast cancer activities, make sure you subscribe to the Breast Cancer Trials podcast and follow us on social media. If there is a topic you'd like us to cover on the podcast with our team of experts, make sure you get in touch. And if you enjoyed this podcast, make sure you tell those in your support circles to tune in.